time, we'll give you the starters. Brought to you by B&B Appliance, 321 Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. From refrigerators to vacuums and everything in between, B&B Appliance. For the Denver West Cowboys, they'll go with number 3, Mikael Garcia. Number 7, Arlo Topping. Number 8, Khalil Chase Herbert. Number 9, Chris Munoz. Number 20, Alexander Ramos. Number 21, Roman Belia. Number 24, Donovan Garcia. Number 29, Carlos Suezo. Number 31, Angelo Sandoval. Number 35, Arias Yuong. Number 42, Josiah Alarcon. Number 58, Saul Hernandez. Number 78, Benjamin Chacon Jr. And number 82, Freddie Luceo. They are coached by Leon Garcia. For your home team, Brush Beet Diggers, a little bit of a different starting lineup tonight. It is senior night. We're going to start all seniors. They go with number 6, Edgar Navarro. Number 7, Nate Ty. Number 9, Aiden Gutierrez. Number 13, Byron Flores. Number 14, Julius Kimball. Number 35, Ty Griffith. Number 38, Luke Ferguson. Number 59, Caden Kastrup. Number 65, Dominic Ontiveros. Number 80, Javier Cordova. And number 87, Cale Stegner. They are led from the sideline by head coach Joe Rosenbach. Key to the contest brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Buildings by Design will make your vision a reality. Visit buildsbydesign.com. I'll bring in John Beltran. John, what can we expect tonight?
Well, very similar, I think, Tyler, what we saw when they beat Arvada West and Sterling and Weld Central, running clock. And how do you do that? You establish the ground game. You force maybe a turnover or two. They've had pick sixes in 2 of those 3 games. And I think if they just stick to that formula, because Denver West hasn't won since September the 16th, and on the calendar, that's a month plus ago. That seems like 3 years ago. Yep. So they've lost 5 games in a row, and at least Brush is an opponent tonight because they were supposed to take on Tinmouth, but they're not healthy enough to play. So at least you have Denver West that had to travel, obviously, a little bit over an hour to play this game, but with a 2-6 record and against formidable opponents really getting trounced in those games. I mean, Brush should do what we've seen virtually all season in league action, with the exception of last week when University beat Brush by 2 touchdowns.
Tough game to watch, especially with as good as that game started off. You thought for the first 2 minutes, you thought Brush had this thing in the bag, and then University, give them credit, they kept calm, and they came back and beat Brush and took home that league title, virtually ending Brush's hopes of getting into the playoffs. Like you said, it would take a miracle for them to get in. Their RPI is not going to help them. They're in a really weak league, so a lot of that working against them. Their record doesn't necessarily help them either. Kickoff here underway, whistle down. Arvada West is going to kick off to Brush to start the game north to south. Juan Sanchez catches it at the 5. He cuts it up the field. He cuts back to the right, gets out past the 30-yard line, and Brush will start in fairly good field position. Yeah, that's a return of 22 yards. And, Tyler, I don't think you made a comment yet about the bottoms. Yeah, they're back in their gray pants. I mean, the traditional maroon with the gold numerals and the white. It looks good. I don't know why gotta go back. And Denver West is dressed in their road whites with the black pants. You know, the one good thing with a freshman returning kicks all year, I mean, he's going to break one probably as early as next year. And Juan Sanchez, as the Bee Diggers get ready here for their first play from scrimmage. He had a great one last week to open up the game. That's one swing of momentum there as Ty Griffith's going to take the opening handoff out past the 40-yard line. Gain of about 8. Well, he dragged a defender there. A freshman, and Aris Uwang made the tackle, but as you mentioned, a gain of 8. And if Griffith runs like that all night, remember, he scored 11 touchdowns in league play. This is not a league game because of the change of opponent. Cowboys colors kind of match Sterling. And it looks like Sterling down there. Griffith will get the handoff again. He breaks it off the right side, stiffs arm to the defender, cuts it up the field, gets across the 50 into plus territory. Goes Ty Griffith, Beat Digger first down. At a gain of 13, and make no mistake about it, Ty Griffith doesn't want to run around opponents. I think he could have cut it towards the sideline. Instead, he pretty much Mack trucked that defender for an extra 3 or 4 yards. Not afraid of contact. No, in fact, he welcomes it. Minute gone by in the first quarter. Receiver to either side. Nate Tyne under center. Up the middle it goes. Usually that's Tanner Ludgate. Yeah, you can see Griffith standing in the backfield. He was not part of the play. It's only a gain of a couple. Well, they'll give him 3 there to the 43. You know, I'm surprised to the 44. I'm surprised that Ludgate hasn't broken off one in a while because when he gets in the open field, he can motor. That's your pick six guy, too. He had one last year. He's got one this year. Would love to see another one of those. Same formation here. Nate Tyne will hand it off to Ty Griffith. Griffith up the middle, kind of off the left side. Flag flies at the end of the play. Ties down at the 40 of Arvada West.
I don't know if the official here on the side is signifying a holder of face mask. I didn't see a face mask.
It was right at the end of the play. That would,
Yep.
personal foul. Ty was about 3 yards short of the first down. They'll pick up an easy 15 here. A fresh set of downs as they walk all the way inside the 30-yard line.
You know, with Nate Time being a senior, they might want him to air it out a little bit, but I think that would be a little bit later on in the game. I think Brush wants to secure a lead. And not that airing it out is bad early in the game, but when you're running the ball this effectively, get on the board, loosen up that defense, and then loosen them up even more by establishing some balance offensively.
Not necessarily a whole lot of size for Arvada West. Ty Griffith breaks one off the left side again. He's crossed the 20, across the 15, cuts it up the field, and Ty Griffith will have your first beat digger score of the night. Really good blocking downfield. Ty Griffith marches in.
25 yards away for Ty Griffith. Business as usual for the senior. He's got 4 carries in the game for already 50 yards, and the Bee Diggers lead 6-0 as the was that little fire truck going off there? Not anymore.
Oh.
But, yeah, all the lights went off in the fire truck as I think, are we going to have a senior?
Yeah, Eric Rico is your usual kicker.
That might be
He's a
Edgar.
freshman.
Is that Edgar Navarro
It
to
is.
attempt the extra point? Man,
Oh, yeah. Good by a country mile.
that would have been about a 35-yard field goal.
Rush takes the early 7-0 lead, 10:06 to go in the first quarter over the Denver West Cowboys.
Yeah, and any time you have to run only 5 plays and all on the ground.
And you didn't start on the right side of the 50 either, so.
Yeah, that was a fairly extensive drive for Brush as they went 68 yards. They were aided by a 15-yard penalty.
And what I was saying there before Ty Griffith broke that touchdown run off, not a lot of size for Denver West, but they got some athletes. I mean, you could see it warming up. They're not afraid to kind of spread them out. I think that's what their offense is going to be. I saw quite a few passes. And
Well, I'm just looking at their roster, Tyler. They probably have no more than 8 seniors on this roster, so they are young. And the first tackle was made by a freshman linebacker, so you know that this team's going to get better next season just based on the fact they have the majority of the players coming back.
Navarro's going to do the kickoff duties as well. Little pooch kick here, lands at the 30-yard line, bounces to the 25. The return man's got to go down to his knees and pick it up. He'll be downed right there at the 26.
That's Arlo Topping. Yeah, you don't need a deep kick if you have no return. That's the same thing as kicking it to the 5-yard line, getting a 20-yard return. So that's okay, but not great field position for Denver West. And now let's see what the Bee Diggers can do because, as you mentioned, Tyler, you've got some new starters on defense trying to get all the seniors in there for senior night.
Stegner and Griffith in there. I saw Tanner Ludgate come kind of limping off there after the extra point, but he's in there right now. He's your strong side backer here. Denver West will open up with a receiver to either side. 2 backs in the backfield, quarterback under center. Griffith showed a blitz. Ball's on the floor. Because there were some problems there with the handoff, and I think Denver West is going to cover it up and keep possession.
No, that's recovered by.
Was it really?
Yep, it was recovered by a Bee Digger. That was 79. It looked like Samuel Thomas Poss recovered the football.
I didn't see anybody jumping up and down.
Yeah, no, Thomas Poss. It was okay. Hey, I've got it. So
we got it.
1 turnover right there, just seconds into that possession. Now the Bee Diggers are looking to perhaps double the lead.
They go with the receiver to either side here. Tyne will return under center. He drops straight back. He's looking left. He goes back to the middle of the field. He's got Tanner Ludgate down the center of the field, and Ludgate will have his first receiving touchdown of the year.
23 yards away from Tyne to Ludgate, and the Bee Diggers lead 13-0, capitalizing on the turnover by Denver West.
I appreciate Denver West coming down so that we can have a game, but getting to the running clock early might have been an understatement. As Navarro's going to do the extra point duties again.
Now, keep in mind that Tyler didn't say that until the second touchdown.
Yeah.
But we haven't even played 3 minutes, huh?
No, 9:53 to go in the first.
Wow.
Extra point is up and good. Brush takes the 14-0 lead. It was the efficiency in which they've scored the first two.
Well, and that second one, great play action. I mean, everybody was sucked in defensively for the run because why wouldn't you be?
Good blocking. Tyne had that's the most time Nate Tyne has had in the pocket all season.
Well, and the one thing he did there, he's done on some other occasions this season, he lofted the ball out there. You have to lob it out there so your receiver runs under it, I should say, and that's exactly what happened with Ludgate. I mean, that was an easy pitch and catch for the Bee-Diggers.
Well, something else Nate Tyne hasn't been able to do. Tanner Ludgate was not his first read. He was looking left to his receiver who got double covered. Usually, if your first receiver isn't open in this brush passing game, after that first read, you're usually running for your life. And there he had time to step back and really survey the field. And he found Tanner Ludgate down the middle of the field. Return man picks it up here at the 20 for Denver West, brings it just shy of the 25 and is going to get drove back.
Yeah, that's Roman Blea with a short return for the Denver West Cowboys. And again, they're pinned inside their own 25-yard line with the Bee-Diggers up 14-0. The Bee-Diggers have had only 6 plays from scrimmage, and the last 2 have gone to the house.
Denver West has had approximately 6 seconds of possession. That is not a recipe for a winning game.
Well, it would help them if they get a little bit better field position. Now, keep in mind, Ahmad Hussein, their lead running back, if he goes over 100 yards tonight, that's 1,000 for the season.
That's him here off the right side. Pitch to the outside, gets him across the 30-yard line, a gain of 5 or maybe 6 yards. We'll see where they spot it.
Yeah, that looks like KJ Chase instead. Yeah, that's Chase instead, who's the second leading back. But that's not bad. It's a gain of 6 for Chase, 2nd down and 4. I mean, the number looks like it's all covered up out there.
It is. He's got the back plate showing. He's got the cool look.
Yeah. That is a cool look.
Receiver to either side set again. Tight end to the right. Power back to the right. Pitch to the right this time. Along the brush sideline. First down is picked up.
Yeah, they got to be careful. That was almost a late hit against the Bee-Diggers, a gain of about 9 to the 39. And you can see Chase has got some speed to the outside. Bee-Diggers are going to have to seal that perimeter. If not, they're just going to be running that play towards the outside and trying to, gain success and then not allow that brush offense to get back on the field.
They're running to the short side of the field, too. This time they coming out almost same formation. Tight ends to the right. They got their fullback to the left. They give it off the left this time. That's Chase again. Good alligator tackle there by Ty Griffith. I don't think Chase made it back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, one Bee-Digger ran right by him, but as you mentioned, Griffith cleaned it up. And a 2nd and 10. And the question is now for this Denver West offense, when did they decide to throw the football? Because you're not going to be able to run past the Bee-Diggers, getting first down after first down with 8.5 to go in the opening quarter and Brush leading 14-0.
Come out in I formation now. Brush is bringing the house. They fake it to the fullback. Quarterback tries a keeper around the left side, and he goes nowhere. I think they're giving him progress back to the line of scrimmage, but he gets thrown back about 5 yards.
Yeah, that's Mikhail Garcia. And, yeah, pretty much no gain there. 3rd down and 10. Although everybody's bunched in tight there, there has to be separation if you're that Denver West offensive line. But there was no separation, so even if that was an option player, where was he going to go with that football?
Well, it doesn't help that Brush called a really good defensive play and brought the house.
Yep.
Here they'll go shotgun 4 wide to either side. Quarterback's looking left. He throws left. The comeback route is broken up there. Good defensive back play. I believe that's Hunter Proctor on the outside. And it is a quick 4th and 10 here for Arvada. And it looks like they're going to swap personnel and punt it away.
And it looks like KJ Chase might be the punter out there. At least he's the deep man right now. And he's just counting right now to make sure there's exactly 11 and not more than need to be for Denver West.
Juan Sanchez will be your return man. He stands at Brush's 30. Chase will kick it from Arvada's 30. It's a line drive kick. Sanchez lets it roll down almost to the 10-yard line, call it the 11, and he lets it go. That's where Arvada will down it. That's a good punt.
About 50 yards to be exact. I mean, that's what you want to do. Sometimes that line drive, it doesn't look attractive because you don't allow your teammates to get down the field. But if it's away from the returner,
he's got to run to it.
And Garcia almost made, or Sanchez, I should say, almost made the mistake of trying to pick that up because as it's rolling towards the end zone, that just spells a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Freshman return man. Done a lot of growing up this year. He was a return man from the get-go, and you can really see the growth from the young freshman here. Tyne will return under center. Man in motion here. They pitch it out to Ty Griffith. Griffith hurdles a man at the 10-yard line. He crosses the 15, across 20, cuts it up the field. Ty Griffith down the sideline. He's got one man to beat.
That's Ludgate.
You're right, it is Ludgate. Ludgate cuts it back to the middle of the field. Across the 50 and across the 40.
Okay, you know how crazy that is? That punt went from the 39 to the 11.
Yeah.
That run went from the 11 to the 39. That was a gain of 50 yards for Ludgate. At first, I thought it was Griffith as well. You see that 3 out there with that running style, but then all of a sudden,
he
separated himself.
That hurdle really looked like him. Good run there by Tanner Ludgate. Him and Griffith are in the backfield. Nate Tyne still under center here. Here they give it to Griffith, who cuts up the middle of the field. Breaking tackles. Across the 20 down to the 15. First down and more for number 35. Moving right along. 6:55 to go in the first. Brush leads 14-0 over Arvada West.
Yeah, over Denver West.
Or Denver West, you're
but
right.
they did play Arvada.
I keep saying Arvada. I didn't know that.
Well, it was Arvada. That's right. I think Arvada West actually a 5A school. I get him. Hey, listen, I get him confused too because Brush is normally used to playing the Platte Valleys and the universities and the Eatons, and some of those schools are not even in their conference anymore.
Mm-mm. Severance moved up. Res Christian moved up. Nate Tyne will drop straight back here. Throws it out to Cale Stegner. Stegner with a nice snag.
Well, that was an excellent one-handed catch and nearly a first down. He's at the 5-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 9, but that is a beautiful, beautiful catch. And actually not a bad throw there because Tyne was leading Stegner.
And the defender wasn't giving up much to Stegner. Stegner come across the middle of the field there. Nate Tyne's thinking to himself, this quarterback thing's pretty easy when you got all day to sit in the pocket.
Well, let's see how much the coaches and Coach Rosenbrock want to balance out the scoring. You've had Ty Griffith score. You've had Ludgate score, but those are your two in the backfield, so one of those two is going to get the ball.
Go a running play up the middle here. Ref signals touchdown, Beat Diggers.
That's a 5-yarder for Ty Griffith. He started, as Tyler mentioned, up the middle, then went to his right and found the end zone. And already he's got 6 carries for 80 yards and 2 scores. And there goes the fire truck, and the Beat Diggers lead 20-0.
5:47 to go in the first.
Now what's going to happen, Tyler, what I understand, once they get to a running clock, all the seniors are going to go out in the field together, and they're going to take a delay of game penalty. And then that'll be their last play at some point in this game, and Denver West is offsides.
On the extra point, they are. So this will just move the extra point a little bit closer. Oh, no, false start on the Beat Diggers. It's going to move
Okay,
back.
I thought it was the other way, yeah. You know, it's simply too bad they lost that game last week because, you know, really what tonight was all about was just honoring the seniors.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they were going to take care of business on the field, and they're already putting it to Denver West.
Ooh, high snap here. Navarro's got to hurry up and get this one off. He's not going to do it. It's going to be blocked. So the extra point is no good. The holder had to almost stand up to catch that snap.
Well, you got 2 touchdowns from Griffith. We're going to check out his numbers. You know, because at this point, you know you're going to win the game. And Griffith has obviously put up monster numbers this season.
Oh, yeah. Gaudy.
Well, and because the Beat Diggers won't make the playoffs, he probably will not be a first-team All-Stater. First-team All-State players normally get reserved for playoff teams or teams that make the Final Four. But you're looking at Griffith, who is now over 1,000 yards. He came into the game with 952, needed 48. And he went over the 48-yard mark on the 25-yard touchdown, which at that point gave him 50 yards in a game. And Ty Griffith now has 18 rushing touchdowns in a year.
First team All-Stater would have been great. Earlier in the year, I was banging the drum to be Player of the Year in 2A, but your team is definitely at least have to make it into the playoffs for that to be a consideration. So,
yeah, because what happens is you don't make the playoffs, then the stats they're still just as valid.
Yeah.
But you didn't win a key game.
Right.
You know, that's the whole thing. You have to put up stats against teams that were good enough that merited a playoff berth for your team, and that's not going to happen. Even though the Bee Diggers will finish 5-4, I mean, Ty Griffith will get All-State recognition, and they might have another player, but Griffith for sure.
Yeah, you might think of Dominic Ontiveros, a really good lineman, and really fun to watch when they let him carry the ball. As Arvada is going to take a sack here,
Denver West.
Dang it.
And there's like 3 Bee Diggers in and another Bee Diggers on. Well, you know what? I bet those schools are just miles apart, and a Bee Digger is down on the ground after a loss of about 7.
I'm just going to go to calling them Cowboys.
It's even better.
Yep,
that's even better.
I think that is.
What was Arvada's net? Were they the Bulldogs or something that we saw a few weeks ago?
Was that Arvada East or what?
No, just Arvada.
It was Arvada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're the Bulldogs or something.
I don't know if that's Stegner, but I think I see a 7 there. That if that's not a cramp, it's something on the lower body.
I thought it might have been. It is Stegner. Yep. He's being helped up here. Marla Tappy walking gingerly on his left leg, kind of grabbed his knee, but he's got to make it off the field.
Well, and Garcia really had no time. I mean,
yeah.
That's why if you're the inferior team and you have a pass rush like Brush, you've got to provide a safety valve for your quarterback, a little dump, a screen that will completely loosen up the defense. And now instead, Denver West is facing a 2nd down and 17 at their own 27, and they're already down 20-0, and we're barely midway through the opening quarter.
Trips right. They're going to run a bubble screen out there. Tanner Ludgate with the wrong receiver. They're going to pick up a couple there. Blocking was set up fairly nice. Brush just able to clean it up in a hurry.
Yeah, Chase made the catch for a gain of 3. You know, at one point, Tyler, I thought he was going to go for some big yardage.
Like I said there, when he first caught it, the blocking was there. Tanner Ludgate kind of over-pursued. Actually, if Ludgate would have been looking for the ball, he might have had a really easy pick 6 there.
Now you're looking at a 3rd and 14. They're going to have to put it up. And let's see, this could set up an interception for the Bee Diggers.
They go 4 wide here from their own 30. Now they're going to try a screen again. Throw it behind the line of scrimmage and Brush. 4 defenders close in on it in a hurry. And quickly it's 4th down. 4:30 to go in the first. First quarter brought to you by Premier Farm Credit. For over 100 years, they've been providing affordable, reliable, and consistent credit. Visit PremierACA.com.
That was another gain of 2 there on the same play, other side to KJ Chase, and now it'll be Chase himself. Chase does it all. He's carried the ball. He's caught the ball. He's punted for 50 yards. I mean, he's essentially offense and special teams for Denver West.
Snap back. Ooh, Brush got a good rush on it. Still a good punt. Juan Sanchez will watch it bounce near the 40. He actually slips, lets it bounce inside the 30, and that'll be down at the 29-yard line.
Not a bad punt again. That one went for 41 yards. But not the worst field position the Bee Diggers have had. They just went on an 89-yard drive, and that was set up by the 50-yard touchdown, or the not the run, the touchdown run, but Tanner Ludgate, I should say, going 50 yards along the left sideline.
Brush comes out and 2 receiver set, 1 to either side. Looking, Stegner's on the sideline, so we'll have a new tight end here. They give it up the middle. Griffith cuts it up the field across the 40, cuts back to the middle. Gets caught at the 45, spun down just shy of the 50, giving the 48-yard line.
That's 104 yards for Griffith, a 24-yard carry. He's had 3 carries of at least 24 yards tonight. And let's face it, Tyler, he's not going to play the second half.
No, he's not.
Man,
he better get all he can now.
They're going to clear the bench. We still have 3.5 to go. But this is not the biggest first quarter for Brush yet.
Oh,
I think they had 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
Was it Sterling?
I think it was
I think
Sterling.
it was homecoming, and they.
Yeah.
So here, Ty Griffith now is going to line up as your slot receiver on the left side here. It's the short side of the field. They're going to go like a little bit of wildcat here. Tanner Ludgate's going to play quarterback. They're going to run a double reverse pass. Griffith's looking down the field. He lets it fly. He's got a man open. Caught at the 20. Brush going to get a little fancy here and put their 4th touchdown on the board. I believe their receiver is number 13, Byron Flores, another senior. There was 2 men wide open on that one. It was kind of pick your poison for Ty Griffith. He's run for 2 and now he's passed for 1.
52 yards. That gets the crowd going because that play was electric. So Griffith now has accounted for 3 touchdowns in a game. And that's not an easy catch for Flores. You're by yourself. And it was a good throw. It was an excellent
but
throw.
It's a deep pass, and you got to sit there and wait for it as Navarro's kick goes a mile high and through the uprights.
I'm telling you. That would have been good for maybe about 7 or 8 more yards because it was so high.
Yeah.
That was totally unblockable.
It looks like when I'm golfing, and not when I'm supposed to do that
Right.
either. It's
Yeah, that
usually
looked
when
like a chip.
Yeah. I should do that when I'm chipping from about 80 in. That usually happens when I'm about 200 out, and it goes about 50.
Yeah, I've shot the first 2 touchdowns video-wise. I didn't shoot that one, but that would have been a fun one.
That
But
one
who
would have been
anticipated
sweet.
that they would be running a double reverse, and it was set up perfectly. But I will guarantee you this, knowing the coaching staff, that's the last trick play they run in this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they respect their opponent too much to continue to do that. But that one, do you think they've practiced that all season? Do you think that's been in the playbook all year?
Absolutely. It looks like Julius Kemble will now kick off.
He's got a good leg as well. This one's going to travel down to the 15-yard line. Caught close to the Denver sideline. I think that's Chase again. He turns it up the sideline, gets pushed out of bounds around the 35-yard line. 2:57 to go in the first quarter.
We'll bring in Brock Dollarshell here in the second half because he can have fun with you on there. I figure, hey, it's like the baptism by fire, like the first time you take a snap at quarterback or something, or the first time you're on the mound in baseball.
Brock, did you play quarterback? Yeah. Oh, you better.
See, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I took a stab at it, but I was pretty sure he did. So now I mean, this will be easy for him.
Is that why you're 4-4? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Denver will go off the left side. Nothing doing there. Loss of 1.
That's KJ Chase again. I don't see Hussein. Maybe he's not healthy because he had almost 900 yards going into the game. He lost a yard there, did Chase. 2nd down and 11. That's the first negative carry for the running back. He's got 4 carries now for 14 yards. And Chase is only a junior, 5'7", 160. But, yeah, I think Ahmed Hussein, nearly 900 yards. He's got to be hurt because he's not out there whatsoever.
Yeah, I haven't seen a number 1. They give it to Chase again. Chase it almost happened there. Brush may go for a strip here because Hussein doesn't really tuck that ball in as tight as he should. He kind of is holding it low and on the outside.
But I like the way Chase runs. He runs hard. Yeah,
Oh,
you're right
yeah.
about that. He needs a little bit more ball security, but he's running hard because every time he gets hit, there's 2 or 3 beat diggers in there. Ludgate and Snelling were around the football on that play. Now it's 3rd down and 9 from the 36.
They'll go 4 wide here again. Shotgun set, running back to the left. Chase will come in motion right to left. They give it to him on the reverse. Good play there on the edge.
Yeah, the flag, I think there was holding there,
Yeah.
a block in the back or something as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that would be declined by Brush. I don't think they care about field position at this time, but let's get a clarification. I didn't see anything resembling a face mask. I think it was a hold.
I think that was Thomas Poss over there. Oh,
Okay, so there was a hold, but it was against Brush.
so that gives
Oh, that-
Denver 10 yards.
Yeah, that's a first down
penalty.
because they were at a 3rd and 10.
Minute 35 to go in the first quarter. Brush leads 27-0. 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air for Ty Griffith.
Yep, and The other touchdown came from Tanner Ludgate, a touchdown pass from Nate Tyne. So both Tyne and Griffith have touchdown passes in the game.
Byron Flores, the other senior, he's the one that caught Ty's touchdown pass here as Arvada goes across the middle of the field, had a man open, overthrew him a little bit, intended receiver, I believe was number 29, Carlos Suezo.
That was almost a blown coverage there because, yeah, he did have 2 steps on a B-Digger defender. Might have been a little bit of a high throw there from Garcia, 2nd down and 10. Garcia has thrown 4 passes. He's 2 out of 4 for just 5 yards. And the B-Diggers right now, they've only got, what? Well, they got 5 up in the box, anticipating a run after a pass play.
They'll drop straight back here, go across the middle of the field. That ball's picked in the middle of the field. I think that's Aiden Gutierrez. He's running down the brush sideline. He's got 2 blockers ahead, 2 Cowboys to beat. He's not going to get there. He's going to be basically tripped up by his own man at the Cowboys' 5-yard line. You would think with 2 blockers and 2 defenders to beat, you could make it happen.
51-yard interception returned by Aiden Gutierrez. And you know what I think he had to do there, Tyler? I think he had to just wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then he tried to maybe cut back and slipped out from a – see, Brock would have scored on that play, but, Aiden got a little bit antsy.
A little bit.
You got to be patient sometimes.
You got to wait behind your blockers. They were there. Rush will start with the best field position a guy could ask for here. Nate Tyne will give it off up the middle.
That looks like Ontiveros.
The bowling ball that is number 65.
Nope.
Is that Snelling?
He ran like it looks like Snelling, yeah, for only a gain of about 3. Well, Snelling hasn't scored, I think he scored against Sterling.
I think he scored against
Arvada too, yeah.
Or maybe Wells Central.
I think he did score against Wells Central.
Yeah.
First carry for Snelling in the game, 2nd and goal at the 3.
Now they bring in 3 running backs behind Nate Tyne. Now it's give it off to big number 65, and he will walk in for Brush's 5th score untouched. 33 now to 0 with 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dominic Ontiveros gets in.
All right, this is their biggest quarter of the season for sure. It could be 34 points. I mean, how many touchdowns is he averaging per carry? Or, you know what I'm saying? How many? It's like
his touchdown to carry
that's what I'm
ratio
saying.
Is pretty much 1-to-1.
I mean, that's got to be best in the state right now.
That's the kind of average you want, as the snap on this extra point is good, as is the kick attempt. 34-0 with 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Brush with the big lead early.
We've got an extensive feature in the post-game show since this is our last game of the season for the B-Diggers. It would take a miracle for them to qualify for the playoffs, and then Tyler will have an extensive conversation with head coach Joe Rosenbrock after the game.
I'm really excited to talk to Joe and really get his thoughts on what he's looking forward to next year, because he's going to lose some seniors. You do every year. But when these freshmen get a chance to play, we've seen it where they come in and they play the starters for other teams and still look really good, let alone they go and play against people that's in their same grade and same level.
Well, and he mentioned for tonight with B-Digger Blast, during B-Digger Blast-Off, they have a JV game against Tinmouth, so he's got to be careful how many of the younger players he utilizes. But for next season, I mean, is that ball's loose.
Yeah, the kickoff bounces and actually bounces towards Brush. Chase is going to pick it up, though, cuts it up the middle of the field. Gosh, he had some green grass ahead of him. Good touchdown-saving tackle by Brush's kick cover team.
Yeah, the touchdown-saving tackle came from Julius Kemble, the kicker. If he doesn't make that tackle, he's gone because he grabbed him really around the waist, and he just kept going. And this could be the final play of the opening quarter with 11.1 seconds to go. And the B-Diggers leading by 34.
Once again, first quarter brought to you by Premier Farm Credit, as Denver will take over at the 44-yard line in their own territory. I formation here. Chase right behind his fullback, quarterback under center. Receiver to either side. They fake it to the fullback. Quarterback kept it there. And it's such a slow developing play. It's kind of like an option. And that quarterback just has nowhere to go. Garcia, that is. That is the end of the first quarter. Brush leads 34-0. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with the second quarter right here on 1010 KSIR Brush, Fort Morgan. Welcome back into Beat Digger Football on 1010 KSIR. Tyler Carmen, John Beltran. Brush up big after their biggest first quarter of the season. They lead the Denver West Cowboys 34-0.
Which included a 52-yard touchdown pass from Griffith to Flores in a double reverse, and now it's 2nd and 13 for Denver West.
They come out looking to run the ball here. That's a new running back as he takes it off the right side, plows ahead along Denver's sideline, gets at least 5 yards.
Yeah, that's Suazo. Remember, he was the intended receiver on that play up the middle that was either slightly overthrown when he ran a pretty good route. And not bad there for Suazo as he gained close to 8 yards to the 49-yard line. Now it's only a 3rd and 5.
They were looking for him on that pick by Gutierrez, too. Running that kind of like tight end seam. He's in the backfield again. Is Suazo, one receiver to either side. Quarterback under center. That's Chase that goes to quarterback now. As it's going to be 4th down here.
He did pick up a couple of yards.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 4-down territory.
Yeah,
the game's
why
already
not?
over.
Yeah, why not?
Even though it's early in the second quarter.
They do get across the 50 to the Brush 49. It'll be 4th and 4 or 4th and 3.
I'm telling you, Coach Rosenbrock doesn't want this to go to a running clock too soon because of that JV game tomorrow at Tinmouth. These players are going to have to be out there for quite a bit. He'll keep some seniors in there that don't get as much playing time as the other seniors.
Right. Under center again. They go pitch to the right here on 4th down. Oh, it's going to be blown up in the backfield in a hurry by Brush. Loss of 4 yards and a turnover on downs coming your way as they were into plus territory, and now Brush will get to start in plus territory right around the 46-yard line.
Well, there's your starting offensive lineman going out there, led by Franklin Garrett at the 48-yard line. They score here. It's 40-0. We'll go to a running clock, and then
And we're home by 9 o'clock.
Rock, we got plenty. This is all for us, man. I know. I don't usually.
I can't eat. Yeah, I don't.
I'm not a candy, but I don't want to insult him either. I might take it home for my
Oh,
son.
yeah. I'll definitely
My
take
son
it
is 20, but he doesn't eat a lot of this stuff anymore either.
Nate Tyne will turn around, hand it off up the middle. Pick up about 4. That is Tanner Ludgate. Gosh, he's so quick. He's just a blur. Blur, 5 yards. Picked up. Boom. Takes about 2 seconds.
Well, and he'll be back next year. He's going to be the leading rusher next year for the Beat
yeah.
Diggers. You know, they'll have him. They'll have Snelling.
Juan Sanchez
He'll get a lot more playing time as a sophomore, and he's really slithery.
He is. Eric Rico is going to battle for the starting quarterback. He's played quarterback when the second stringers come in.
Right.
Nate Tyne under center again. Denver's bringing the house here. Flags fly. Tanner Ludgate's got a stiff arm at the 40. Get pushed out along the Brush sideline. We'll see what the flags are all about.
Yeah, that's going to be an illegal motion or shift against the Beat Diggers. And Denver West was coming on a blitz anyway.
Yeah.
Now, that's the thing. You're up by 34. They're coming on a blitz. Throwing the ball would look like you're running up the score. But the only way you combat that, I think, especially with a blitz coming from the interior, is to pitch it to the outside and let your speed burner hit the sidelines and maybe go the distance. But now you have a 2nd and 11. So this is all about the play call. They're going to come with that same two-man blitz.
Proctor will replace Flores. Gutierrez will come in as well. 9:06 to go, second quarter. Brush 34-0 lead. Second quarter brought to you by Stubbs Gas and Oil. One-stop shopping does exist. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories. Get off I-76 at 66A in Wiggins. Visit them.
Wiggins has Ray tomorrow night. That's a critical game in Class 1A.
Tying a little misdirection. Will hand it off to Ludgate. He's looking for the edge. He doesn't have it. He's going to get pushed out of bounds back at the 45-yard line. A loss of 5+.
Yeah, they'll give him some forward progress, but not much. Not much. And there was nothing out there. The Beat Diggers did not seal that off. And now they're back and they're even deeper. Now it's setting up as a 3rd and about 14. And they haven't punted so far in this game.
Clock running, 8.5 to go. In the first half, ball is now at the Brush 47-yard line.
Well, we can pretty much guess who's getting the ball here. 3rd and 14. I mean, this could be a straight handoff to Griffith.
Tide will go under center. Gutierrez will come in motion right to left.
Oh.
He'll roll to his left. Nate Tyne keeps it, gets across the 50, down to the 45 of Denver.
Oh, he's able to get 7 yards, so this will be, I mean, they'll go for it, I would think. That's Nate Tyne's first carry of the game. Pretty nice design bootleg, but they've got to get to the 39, so it's 4th down and 7. But that's what I'm saying, Tyler. I don't know if they want to throw the ball here. Every play they're going to try, you would think if they're coming, once again, they had a different defensive alignment there. But if they're coming through the middle, you want to kick it to the outside.
And you don't really have to worry about an incompletion stopping the clock because it'll stop anyway to change possession. Tyne will drop back, roll to his right. Proctor breaks it off on the comebacker. Instead, he throws it to the tight end coming across the field. First down's picked up. I think that is
That's Brody Dick.
Is it Brody Dick?
For a gain of 13. That's a beautiful pass on the run.
I didn't even see Brody Dick. I thought Hunter Proctor was who Nate Tyne was staring down, and Proctor broke off his comeback route and came back and was open, and I thought that's where that ball was going to.
Well, sometimes these players make an appearance when you actually see them touch the ball because Brody Dick isn't somebody who's caught a lot of passes this season, but he ran a gorgeous pattern, and Nate Tyne was flushing himself out of the pocket. That's as well of a design play as we've seen this season.
That's somebody else that'll be an impact player next year. Brody Dick, we've seen him get the ball a handful of times this year. He's a hard runner. There's a new running back in for Brush as he takes the handoff and goes off the left side.
I have no idea who that is.
I can't tell his number. It's an 80 something, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, unless that's Javier Cordova. If that's an 80, that's Cordova. But anyway, it's a gain of 3 and 2nd down and 7 from the 29, and he's still in that backfield.
Alongside Tanner Ludgate, Nate Tyne, give it to him again. I think that is Cordova. Cordova goes up the middle, down inside the red zone. Now 1st down. Ball will be at the 19-yard line.
And a gain of 9.
Halfway through 2nd quarter, Brush still leads 34-0. And they're starting to work in those younger players. Just when I say that, Ty Griffith jogs back on.
Well, because this could be the last possession of his career.
Might be.
I mean, you're under 6 minutes to go, as you talked about. You haven't scored in the quarter, which I think the coaches want.
Well, now that's a problem, yeah. Nate Tyne will go under center. He fakes the handoff. He rolls right on the keeper. He gets across the 15, down to the 10, pushed out around the 5-yard line, pushed clean out of bounds. That can't feel good because there's about 6 feet of grass, and then there's the long jump track, and then there's asphalt.
Well, Nate is a good athlete. I mean, he doesn't have as much beef as a Ty Griffith, so maybe as soon as you land, it hurts a little bit more. But that 14-yard bootleg has him at the 5-yard line, his 2nd carry on this drive.
Goal to go now from that 5-yard line, 5.5 to go in the first half. Looks like we're going to have quite a halftime show by the number of pink bows I see. Goodness. Nate Tyne's going to drop straight back to pass, looking at the end zone.
Yeah, that was broken up.
Incomplete.
Yeah, that ball you can't throw. I mean, Nate took a chance there, but what confused me on that pass is that there were so many players in the same area.
2 receivers in the same, yeah.
If you bunch them up and then you isolate another one, it's an easy touchdown.
Right.
But that was an easy defensive alignment there for Denver West with all the beat diggers in the same area. But what that just did here, that set up a running play on this one. There's little doubt in my mind that this is not going to be a running play. I would think they're going to run the ball now.
Just 2nd down. Might see a little more trickery here.
Well,
Ty Griffith's in at quarterback. Shotgun Ludgate to his left. They give it to Gutierrez as he came in motion right to left. He tries it off the left side and goes nowhere. I don't even think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's a loss of 1. And he's not used to doing that.
Nah.
And he's not used to doing that. But at the same time, the blocking wasn't there.
Well, I mean, Denver read it very well. They strung it out like they should.
They played a solid second quarter, and neither team has scored. We got
Yeah.
5:19 to go. Still 34-0. You've got 2 plays to make 6 yards, and the B-Diggers are going to have to call a timeout because this is taking a lot of time to get this play in. And here's Cordova just racing out to the field. And, gosh, well, maybe that's not – I mean, looks like 89 or something, which I don't have.
Yeah, I think it is Cordova.
But-
he is a senior.
Yeah, it would make sense that he's in the game, but they better snap this here really quickly. The play clock is not at 5 yet, but it's about to get to 5. And now, under center.
Tyne will drop straight back. Nope, that's Griffith. Griffith drops straight back. He rolls to the right. Little sidearm. Ty throws a pick right at the end zone. That's Chase who picked him off. That throw looked so good until it hit somebody's hands.
Well, it was in traffic. I mean, there
Yeah.
again, that's a mistake that we used to see Brett Favre make in the NFL all the time. You roll right and then throw across your body towards the middle into traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a disaster every single time. And now the B-Diggers might not score before the end of the quarter. I think they will because they played so well defensively with just over 4.5 to go. But at that point, when you flush yourself out, I think you want to throw a little bit straighter on as opposed to a little – and it wasn't a lot across his body, but enough that he flung it into an area where it was pretty congested. So now Denver West in awful field position again has the ball at about the 11-yard line. Keep in mind the B-Diggers have touchdown passes from 2 different quarterbacks, both Tyne and Griffith.
Tanner Ludgate on one reception, Byron Flores on the other.
Yeah, Griffith for 52 to Flores, Tyne 23 to Ludgate.
4 wide here for Denver. Shotgun set, straight drop back. He's looking left. He's either sacked or batted down at the line.
No, that's a sack. I don't know if that's Cole Curtis, but somebody got him really good. And, I mean, that no time to throw. And that was indeed a sack
63, you're right.
by Cole Curtis. He was all over him.
That's another player. He'll be a senior next year.
Well, he was very talented as a sophomore, so
Yeah.
you can imagine he's just getting better and better. And that's going to be a second down and close to 20.
Clock will tick down under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Brush still has that 34-0 lead.
I think they're going to try to work out of this by giving the ball to Chase on the ground.
They do that off the right side. Nothing doing there.
He might have lost a yard back to the 1. They're not even spotting him where the second down marker is. The B-Diggers with so much penetration on the left side of that defensive line.
You said Brush might score. That might be a safety before the first half.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't get him to a running clock. It'd be
No.
close.
No.
Wow, but now you're looking at a third down and 22. That ball looks like it's just shy of the 2-yard line, maybe a 3rd and 21.
Now what do? Do you try to run out of it again?
Well, they might throw this bubble screen. You're isolating a B-Digger defender with Chase. This looks like it's set up for a bubble screen, but let's see what Hunter Proctor does because he's the one defending Chase.
Yeah, and he's not playing too far back. Brush looks like they're going to bring a blitz. I think they just tried to go up the middle. Really nothing doing.
Yeah, that was a quarterback keeper, and barely getting back to the line of scrimmage was Garcia himself. So Brush is going to get the football. As long as we don't have one of these crazy plays on a punt, they should get the football at about the 30-yard line.
Sanchez is standing at Denver's 30-yard line.
And he's felt a little bit uneasy because you've had these line drives, you've had these funky bounces. So I think he wants something clean. But Chase doesn't have those high spiraling punts that a returner likes to field.
Denver's got to bring in one more guy. They're a man short.
And the B-Diggers have to score quickly because there's 2:12 to go and the clock is ticking.
Oh, they brought the heat, but a good punt. Travels to the 35-yard line. Sanchez catches it clean. He cuts it back to the right side of the field. Breaks a tackle at the 35.
Oh, that's a flag. You can't do that. You cannot, as an illegal block there by Ty Griffith, it looked like. I think if he just left him alone, that would have been okay as he's down at the 30. But see what happened there with Ty. I think he was trying to get the Denver West player to turn a little bit more so it wouldn't be a block in the back
Couldn't do it.
or a blindside
Yeah.
Yep, and that's what was called against Griffith. Yeah, that's tough because you see the guy running up and you want to make sure that you seal him off.
Well,
not
it's
to the-
hard for you to get as much in front of him as you need to be.
Maybe Ty did that on purpose, so if he gets the ball, he's got a longer touchdown.
Maybe.
Instead of
Maybe.
35 yards, he can go 45. I mean,
He's trying to make up for that interception he threw.
That could be.
Yeah.
We got a minute 56 to go before the break, and he's now under center,
Yep.
34-0 Brush.
Snelling and Ludgate behind him. Turn around, hand it off to Snelling off the left side. Snelling's got some room. He cuts it back up the middle of the field, across the 40-yard line. Will be second and about 4 with a minute 45 to go in the first half. Stick around for your halftime show brought to you by Morgan Community College.
And we'll keep it right here at the end of the quarter really quick, and we'll go through the scoring and some of the numbers, and then we'll get you to the second half, which is a 15-minute feature that'll take up most of our time here.
Receiver to either side. Griffith will stay under center. Turn around, fakes the handoff. He rolls right. He's got room. Good block there by Tanner Ludgate as Griffith dives across the 30-yard line. First down, +5 picked up. Ooh, and there's a flag right around Tanner's.
Yep, they called it on Ludgate. And I think that's a decent call.
It is the right call.
Yeah, you have to let him go there. You have to let him go. In fact, that's what allowed Fort Morgan to win the state championship game over Meade. Meade was in Fort Morgan territory. There was a massive blindside block thrown, and that drew Meade back. And what Meade didn't realize is that the clock was going to restart because the play ended in between the lines. Nobody went out of bounds, and they get up to the line of scrimmage with only 19 seconds when there was like 35 to go. They threw an interception, and now the Bee Diggers are to score before halftime. They're going to have to do it quickly because that clock is running. And it's second and forever at their own 46.
They go 3 wide to the left side of the field. That's the wide side. Griffith's going to roll that way. Pump fake. He's going to go down the field. Overthrows his man. There really wasn't a whole lot of separation.
How about there was none? I think it was
Gutierrez there. I think it was the intended man.
Yeah, I mean, that was great coverage by who else? KJ Chase. That guy's done everything.
That blindside block, you probably have players like Brock and I to thank for that. I think that started in 6-man because they used to run a play. Pete's was notorious for it. A crackback block, they'd send one guy out, and his only job as a receiver was to come down the line of scrimmage and clean somebody's clock.
Well, and you can't do that in 6-man with so few players. You do that, that's almost another advantage the offense has.
We got hammered by that as Griffith will drop straight back. He's going to go across the middle of the field this time. The ball, overthrown.
Might have been Eicher at the 24. Tough to tell between 8 and 9, but I think that was Eicher, and that was just a little bit overthrown with 55.8 seconds to go.
Little bit of a wounded duck throw, but it got to where it needed to be.
See, I still say here, Tyler, you've had these second and third and longs. You're sending players long. Let them come in, throw a little screen pass, and with the speed that Brush has on the outside, the screen could go, but now you're 4th and 19.
Ludgate's your slot man here. 3 wide to the left. Griffith is going to try and tuck it and run. Instead, he jumps. There's a little jump throw to Tanner Ludgate underneath. First down's not going to be picked up. Clock stops with 53 seconds to go.
Well, it was a nice throw. They needed 19. They got 15, so Denver West takes over on downs, and the Bee Diggers will not score in this quarter. Second reception for 38 yards. The only way the Bee Diggers score now is if Denver West commits a turnover and Brush goes for a scoop and score with 53.7, unless they decide to throw the ball. And then we could see that pick six that we've been talking about, or that that we saw early in the season with Ludgate.
So if there's a defensive score, Brush probably won't have practice next week. Does Coach Rosenbrock wear his costume into school in a class one day? It's Halloween, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Denver goes 2 wide to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs. Garcia, high snap, looking right, going to go deep down the field. It's underthrown. Pass ball is incomplete, and they throw a flag.
That cannot be a penalty against Brush.
They were going for both were looking for the ball.
What the heck is that? There's no way that's interference. All right.
man.
That is not a bad call. That is an atrocious call. I mean, you have two guys. How do they call interference on that?
Yeah, I don't know because
That's not
I think it was Gutierrez.
Brock, that's not interference.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Gutierrez, I think, was the defensive back there. He's looking for the ball's underthrown for one. Once it becomes underthrown, it's
And there
kind
was
of the
no
receiver's,
contact.
It was it's the receiver's job to make sure that's not an interception, and he did his job.
Right.
He was the last one to kind of touch the ball there at the high point. It falls incomplete.
That's got to be a charity call. I'm sorry.
It might be. Chase is going to go out. They're going to single him up on the right. Trips left. Chase is singled up on the wide side of the field. They're going to go deep to him again. This ball. Oh, this ball was bobbled on the ground. I don't think anybody ever had a possession of it. It ends up in Gutierrez's hands, and I think they're going to give that to Brush. The interception cleared down at the 15-yard line with 40 seconds to go. They both went up for it. They both hit the ground, and then it was just hands and a ball in the air. And it ends up in Brush's hands, and they'll take over deep in their own territory with 40 seconds to go in the first half.
I can't understand why that wasn't interference like the previous play. It was the same exact play.
It was the same
except
exact
somebody
play.
caught it.
It was the same
It was the same exact play.
It was.
You might as well call interference there. All right, now you got to find an 85-yard touchdown because you're down to 40.7 seconds to go. And unless Brush has a huge play, they're not going to call a timeout. They've got all three timeouts, but if they don't have a huge play there, I think Coach Rosenbrock will take it into halftime up by 34.
You know who specializes in those types of plays? It's number 65.
That's right,
Ontiveros.
Yeah.
He's not in the backfield. They give it to Ty Griffith in the shotgun instead. He rolls right. He's looking down the middle of the field. He launches it deep, way overthrown. Incomplete.
Okay.
Ty's looking for the home run ball here. Like 3
All right.
straight plays.
I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, he threw that ball about 50 yards. That's pretty impressive.
And a good spiral.
He threw that ball well over 50 yards. He's got a strong arm. I mean, we know he's got a great arm as a catcher in baseball, but that's a different type of throw. And nobody was able to run underneath it. That's how well he threw it. And he had plenty of time to chuck it down the field. But again,
Yeah,
I'm going to
good
repeat
block.
myself. How about a screen pass? Suck them all in and throw a screen pass.
Wonder if that's what they're doing here. They kind of bunch everybody up. Griffith rolls right, and they're going deep again.
He's
They go
way overthrown.
Yeah, way overthrown again as they tried going back across to the other side of the field. That's Wiley. Nah, that might be Gutierrez. Gutierrez or Eicher, one of the two. Intended man. I think that's Gutierrez. He's going to make his way to the sideline for a breather. 3rd down, 30 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah,
Gosh,
Eicher's checking into the game right now.
Yeah. That first quarter flew by, and then Brush decided to open up their passing game a little bit in the second quarter, and we've slowed way down. Same formation again, kind of bunched up everybody around the line. Ty Griffith will roll right again. This is a straight keeper. He's got Ludgate out in front of him. Cuts it up the field. Ty Griffith across the 30. He's got room to run across the 40, down the 50. Stiff arms a man down into Denver territory at the 40-yard line, and Brush. Wonder if they call a timeout here.
Well, Chase is down. That's a gain of 45 yards.
He gets up.
Yeah, it's a gain of 45. Unofficially there for
Brush.
Griffith.
Brush does take its first time out of the half, brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants. Since 2003, they've been providing big firm product with small firm relationships. Visit westerneci.com for more.
You realize that was Griffith's first carry of the second quarter. He had 104 yards in the first, and there he went. I think he thought at one point he might be able to go the distance, but
He's got
nonetheless,
some speed, but not quite enough.
well, and Chase is fast.
He is fast.
Chase is fast.
Yep.
So now, 19 seconds to go. You're gonna have to pass out of this if you want to get into the end zone. It's tough to break off what he just did.
I would go ahead and try one of those quick hitters to Ludgate just to see. You still have 2 timeouts.
Well, unless you call a fake 23 blast with a backside George reverse, because Rev Harris did that, and remember the Titans, and he had some great block in there from Sunshine. It went 75. That's a great play.
Sunshine.
But that was a state championship game. It's tough to do.
Broncos are playing Sunshine this week.
That's right. They are
Trevor
playing
Lawrence.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, he is. Oh, he's definitely the Sunshine.
He looks like Sunshine.
Yeah.
Make him throw left-handed.
Yep. Oh, without a doubt, Trevor Lawrence is Sunshine. And they went to schools in the same area because Sunshine went to South Carolina and Trevor Lawrence, of course, to Clemson.
Yeah.
Well, this will be interesting because everybody's bunched in tight on this 1st and 10 with
Snelling, Gutierrez go across the other side to the wide side of the field, right to left. Griffith will roll that way. It's a keeper. Cuts it back up the middle of the field. Ty Griffith's got room to run down across the sideline. He's caught from behind. Oh, did he lose the ball? He did. He had it stripped inside the 10-yard line with 10 seconds to go, and I think Denver covered it up. They're on the far side of the field here.
Yeah, we'll give him 35 yards, and Griffith was stripped. That's his second turnover of the quarter. Griffith now on the ground has 184 yards, but has 2 turnovers in a game. We'll tabulate the yardage here as we get to the halftime show as soon as this play expires.
1, maybe 2 plays if Denver decides to throw it here. Let's see. Yeah, they send 4 wide here. Garcia shotgun set. He's looking left. He's going to go deep down the left sideline. That ball's going to be picked. Nope. Batted down at the 30-yard line. Wiley Eicher got his hands on it. Intended man for Denver was number 9, Chris Munoz. Gosh, Weicker looked like he caught it right in a breadbasket. Instead, it falls incomplete, and Denver will have one more play with 3.5 seconds to go in the first half.
I'd say just run the ball because it would be crazy if this ends on a pick 6, and then the Bee Diggers have this.
The stands are going to go nuts if it does. Rush sends an awful lot of people deep. They do run it off the right side.
That's Suazo. He's got some nice yardage, and it's going to be
close to a first down, but that is the end of the first half. Halftime show brought to you by Morgan Community College. Start your associate degree, continue your education, or get a specialized certificate. Visit morgancc.edu for more. Brush will go into halftime of the regular season finale up on Denver West, 34-0. All 34 points coming in that first quarter. Second quarter kind of went stagnant, tried to go through the air some more. John will give us the first half.
Well, because of that 10-yard run there, Tyler, they went from 22 to 32 yards of offense. The Bee Diggers with almost 400 yards of offense, 398. And again, that's all unofficial. Garcia, the quarterback, 3 out of 5 passing, 5 yards, an interception. KJ Chase had 6 carries for 14 yards. Suazo just had his 4th carry there for 17 yards. The Bee Diggers' number is obviously bigger. Ty Griffith did account for 2 turnovers, an interception thrown in the fumble, but he had 9 carries for 184 yards, 25-yard touchdown and a 5-yard touchdown. Tanner Ludgate had 4 carries for 54 yards, but he scored through the air as he caught a 23-yard touchdown pass from Nate Tyne. Griffith with a 52-yarder to Byron Flores. The other touchdown, Dominic Ontiveros was only carried from 3 yards out. And Nate Tyne, 2 carries for 21. Snelling, 2 for 11. Cordova, 2 for 13. Tyne through the air, 3 out of 4 for 46 yards. And Griffith has thrown for 67 yards, but only completed 2 with that interception. And that's what we're looking at. The Bee Diggers with 285 yards on the ground and 113 through the air for 398. And just 5 yards passing and 27 yards rushing for Denver West. All right, let's take a 30-second break. 30-second break, and then we'll get to the halftime feature after this. I'm John Beltran with Tyler Carmen, and we'll bring in Brock Dollarshell here in the third quarter. With the score, it's Brush 34, Denver West nothing on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to 1010 KSIR, KSIR.com, and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Bee Digger football regular season finale as they are hosting the Denver West Cowboys and up on those Cowboys 34-0. as the clock for this third quarter has already started. Halftime show brought to you by Morgan Community College. Start your associate degree, continue your education, or get a specialized certificate. Visit morgancc.edu for more. All 34 points for Brush coming in that first quarter. A couple through the air, a couple on the ground. Navarro's going to kick off here to start the third quarter. Bounce at the 30. Turn man picks it up there. Tries to turn the corner, goes up Denver's sideline, picks up a few extra yards. John Beltran going to take the third quarter off, bring in a local high schooler, Brock Dollarshell. Brock, I hold a soft spot for you because you went to my alma mater as well, Prairie High School. What are you thinking of studying here as you get ready to graduate in May?
Well, I'm not really sure. I've been kind of looking around and saw this opportunity. I'm excited to be here with you.
Right on. Like I said, 34-0. Brush is going to start on defense. They do start with their seniors out on the field. It is senior night. As I said, regular season finale, their RPI working against them. They're in a weak league. They weren't able to take that league title last week against University, so their season, barring an absolute miracle, will be done tonight. Got off to a great start. Ty Griffith, 3 total touchdowns in that first half. Couple on the ground, 1 through the air. Second quarter, Brush tried to open up their passing game, kind of slowed the game down. They tried to go more through the air. They let Tyne and Griffith throw it all over. Griffith threw a pick, and then on the ensuing possession had a great run, got down inside the 5, and then was stripped, wasn't able to get Brush to a running clock before the first half, so that's why we got the seniors back out as Denver goes 4 wide here, 2 at either side, man in motion, left to right. Should be a false start.
Looks like a false start
on Denver. Brock, do you even know what kind of football they're playing down there? You play 6-man, so
no, this is different to me. I've never seen this before.
It is different. Actually, it's probably not that different if you watch the Broncos. That looks like the Broncos.
Yeah, it does.
False start.
Moving the ball back.
Yeah, going the wrong way. They even have a number 3 playing quarterback too.
Yeah, looks familiar.
Yeah, it does look familiar. So that penalty backs him up. It's 2nd and 10 now. Or 2nd and 20, I apologize. There you go, shotgun here. Garcia's looking right. He's going to throw it deep.
Got drilled.
Wiley Eicher picks it off between the 45 and 50-yard line. Brush with the early turnover.
Quarterback took a lick.
Well, when you stand back there that long, Brush defense is going to get after you. I get confused between Eicher and Gutierrez. One of them wears 8, one of them wears 9. It's hard to pick out. I think that was Wiley Eicher. Might have been Gutierrez. Either way, Brush will get its first possession of the third quarter. 10:29 to go. Brush up 34-0. They'll start, I believe, with Nate Tyne under center. Griffith and Ludgate behind him. Give it off to Griffith here. He bounces to the left side. Gets a block from Ludgate. Dives across the 45-yard line of Denver. Close to a first down. Should be 2nd and 1. Brock, how's Prairie's football season going?
Not too bad. Kind of a new system, new head coach. Lost a lot of good seniors last year, so I'd call it a rebuilding year. But we've been pretty good. I've been proud of our guys. We've stuck it out.
Pitch off the right side this time to Ludgate. He had troubles catching the pitch, but he gains control, turns it up. Denver's sideline, the far sideline, gets the first down and another 10 yards or so, close to Denver's 30-yard line. You got anybody that fast on your team?
Nope.
No. Are any of your teammates listening?
I hope not.
You should text them and be like, hey. You said your new coach came from Idalia. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I tell you what, man, I played Idalia. They won 3 championships in 4 years.
Yep.
Brush will run another play up the middle. Griffith gets another 8 yards or so. What's crazy about Idalia, and I don't know if you guys run this way, but Idalia had 3 offensive plays.
Yeah.
Run right, run left, and run up the middle. And they absolutely dominated the 6-man game for a stretch of probably 5 or 6 years.
Well, we tried that our first game, and we quickly learned that we're going to have to open up our playbook
Open
to
up
some
a little
more
bit.
options. Yeah.
Up the middle goes Griffith again. He's got the first down. Breaking tackles. Ty Griffith looking to put this thing away early here in the third quarter as Griffith has his 4th score of the night. He broke about 3 tackles en route. 22-yard scamper for number 35. And Brush is up 40-0, and this will go to a running clock.
224 on the ground. 224.
224 grounds. John Beltran still with us here. He's still keeping stats. 224 yards on the ground for Ty Griffith. 4 total touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 in through the air. Had a beautiful pass on a double reverse. Found Byron Flores, another senior. It is senior night as well. Brush going to go for 2 here. Nate Tyne will stay under center. Dominic Ontiveros gets the handoff. Bulls forward. 2-point conversion is successful. Brush takes the 42-0 lead. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. That third quarter brought to you by Better Electric. They cover all electric work from residential to commercial to agriculture. Better does matter. Call 970-521-1030. How would you like to have a guy like number 65 block for you?
Well, funny enough, I actually went to elementary school with him. He came to Prairie, and
Really?
I was looking at that earlier. I was like, man, I wish he was on our team still.
Or Franklin Garrett, number 75?
Yeah,
That would help too.
yeah, I would. I'd choose about any one of these guys to play for me.
Brush they've had some success running the ball this year, and it's a credit to that offensive line. They've struggled. If they get down, they have to throw the ball a little more. As the kickoff after the score travels down to the 20-yard line, it's caught there up the middle. Goes number 21. He cuts to the outside there, trying to get to Brush's sideline, breaks a tackle. Gets brought down shy of the 45-yard line. That is number 21 for Denver West, Roman Blia. But junior, he's got some speed.
And a couple fast guys on their team.
Chase took KJ Chase took a couple shots there in the first half. He's out there. He's number 8. I think they moved him at quarterback a couple times, but Garcia is still going to be the man taking the snaps here. As I mentioned before, running clock, we're all the way down to 6:30. Almost halfway through this quarter already. Denver started with the ball. They threw a pick to Wiley Eicher. Brush took it down the field in a hurry to take the score to a running clock here. Pitch off the right side. I think that's Sueza. It is number 29. He picks up a couple yards, gets out of bounds right along the Brush sideline. Won't stop the clock, though. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. Walks up to the line. Brush has some of their backups in. Juan Sanchez playing linebacker. Eric Rico on the outside. Garcia under center. Hands it off to Sueza. This time he goes off the left side. Breaks some tackles. Gets brought down just shy of the 50. He'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down. It'll be third down and about 3. 5:30 to go in third. Brush leads 42-0. Sky Ranch Golf and Grill. They've got a great golf course as well as daily specials at the grill. Stop by West Sterling on Highway 14. They'll go shotgun here, 4 wide on 3rd and 3. I don't think they're going to think about punting it at all the rest of the game. 2 downs, pick up 3 yards. They throw a bubble screen here. Sanchez comes up, Rico comes up, tries to make the play. Breaks the tackle, does the Denver receiver. And that dude is fast as well. I think that's Chase. He picks up the first down.
They're able to move the ball if they can get some of their fast guys in open space. But other than that, they haven't been able to move the ball very much.
Oh, flags. There's 4. Every ref just threw a flag. I've never seen that.
5 seconds after the play.
Oh, yeah. A long time after the whistle was blown. I think Arvada's coaches want a late hit call, and they're not going to get it. There's 5 officials on the field, 4 of them along the Denver sideline, and all 4 of them threw a flag. Oh, they call it on Swayze, number 29. Oh, and then he gets a late hit call as well. So
Weird
that's
how they all threw it at the same time.
that is weird. I've never seen that before. It's a 30-yard penalty. Good grief. And they're huddling up at the 50-yard line, and they have to go all the way back. That hurts, man. And that whole time, clock was running. 3:40 to go in the third quarter. Ball gets spotted all the way back at the 37-yard line.
It's after a good positive play too, which
So that since it's after the play, it'll stay first down. So it's first down, but they lose an awful lot of yards. They go 30 yards the wrong direction. Shotgun play here. They go deep to chase again. This ball's going to be picked off. Nope, ball's incomplete. I believe that's Eric Rico on the coverage. Nope, that is not Eric Rico. Bunch of reserves in for Brush. I think most of your seniors and starters are done for the night. Coach Rosenbrock does have a JV game against Timnath yet this year to kind of think about, keep his guys fresh and ready for that. Clock's still running on 2:38 to go. Do you even know where you're going to school?
NJC.
Are you going to
Yeah.
NJC? You thinking about you gonna transfer to Wyoming?
That's what I thought about.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's right.
Yep.
Straight drop back here for Garcia. He overthrows his intended man coming across the middle of the field. That's number 24, Donovan Garcia. I wonder if they're related.
Another flag flies in on the
Oh, gosh.
far sideline.
Another late one here. 2 minutes to go. Clock's still running. Brush leads 42-0 over the Denver West Cowboys. You know what you're studying at NJC?
Not yet.
Okay.
Got plenty of time to figure that out.
You do have plenty of time. Plenty of time. You going to play basketball?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. You going to play baseball?
No, probably not.
Golly. You don't run track?
Nope.
Okay, that's fair.
Just gonna be a studious student. See how that goes.
So ball, it must have been another flag on Denver because it backs them up. They got to get to the 47-yard line. The ball's clear back at the 22. It's third down and forever here. Shotgun set. Throw a little out route. It's caught at the 30. Broken tackle. Rush catches him along the sideline. Goodness gracious. A great running catch there.
See if they'll give him enough for the first down. Looks like it.
Roman Balea turns a bubble screen into a first down on third and forever, and we're under a minute to go with that running clock in the third quarter. That's the best offensive play Denver has had all game. There was 3 beat diggers that had a chance to stop Balea there. Shy of the first down, they couldn't do it. Use the sideline if you have to. Couldn't bring him down. He tiptoed along right in front of the Brush players. They're going to pitch it to Swayze this time off the left side. He cuts it up the middle of the field, pushing a pile. Gets 7 yards or so. Might have time for one more play here in the third quarter if they hurry. Clock running on 13 seconds. And Denver, I think, is just going to let it run down. Indeed, they are. That's your third quarter. Brought to you by Better Electric. They cover all electric work from residential to commercial to agriculture. Better does matter. Call 970-521-1030. Brock, was that the fastest quarter of football you ever seen in your life?
It was.
Yeah, it was. Brush was able to score there on their first possession, get it to a running clock, and then you got some penalties that take forever and moves right along. We'll go ahead and keep it right here. Won't bother going to break because before too long they're going to start the fourth and final, brought to you by Rudy's Tires. Regular season finale for the Brush Beat Diggers. So, Brock, you play quarterback, right?
Yep, I've just kind of started. I started off the year as a running back and played starting safety, but our offense kind of got in a pickle and couldn't put any points on the board, so I made an offensive change, and I've started. Actually, last game I went to Walden. That was my first game starting quarterback.
Trying to get you into the playoffs now, aren't you? Really relying on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So Denver will start the fourth quarter, 2nd and 3, inside Brush territory. Juan Sanchez blitzes off the left side, brings down Garcia there. Little bit of help, but that was all number 12, the freshman return man, playing a little bit of weak side linebacker. Gets his first sack of the year. Ball spotted back at the 50. Now it's going to be 3rd and 10 for Denver. Brush brought a really nice blitz. Start of the fourth quarter, Brush leads 42-0. I got another question for you, Brock.
Yep.
I hope he's listening. Is your older brother going to get married? Is he going to marry that girl?
Yeah.
I better be in that wedding.
Yeah, me too.
4 wide here, pass overthrown. Chase intended man off the right side, and it'll be 4th and 10.
At least I think he is.
I think he is too, but you know what? That girl looks way too good for him. So we'll have to
Yeah,
see.
you said it, not me.
Yeah. I'm sure she's been told. Probably by your mom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was going to say maybe anybody but my mom.
Yeah. Your dad, your brothers.
Oh, yeah.
You've only got, what, 4 brothers, right?
Yeah.
4 brothers, 1 sister?
3 brothers.
3 brothers, 1. That's right.
Yeah.
How old is Derek?
Derek's an 8th grader this year.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Makes me feel old, man.
Yeah.
2 wide to the left, 2 wide to the right. 10:30 to go. Shotgun set here on 4th down. Garcia's got to step up. Nearly brought down in the backfield. He breaks free. He's close to the 1st down. I think he's going to get it as he crossed the 40-yard line. Good effort there. Starting quarterback, number 3, Garcia. Able to pick up the 1st down. Gosh, Brush nearly had him there on about 2 or 3 different occasions. Fourth quarter brought to you by Rudy's Tires. 9 is the magic number. 9 locations across northeast Colorado, Nebraska means there's always a location close by. Visit rudystires.com for more. 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left this time. Shotgun set, running back to the right of Garcia. On the near hash, they're going to throw a bubble screen. Ooh, man, Garcia threw that behind Chase. Chase had to go get it. Chase turns it up the field. Flag flies in. That ref's got an arm.
That was a far throw.
He threw that clear across. Feels like a 40-yard throw. Goodness. And then a
late flag.
Yeah, another late flag. Goodness. Denver coach is not happy. This might go on the Arvada or the Denver sideline. Oh, no, but Sueza again gets the unsportsmanlike. Is there... John kind of bailed on us. I was going to ask if you get too many unsportsmanlikes, are you kicked out of the game?
Well, I certainly thought so.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too. Not that it matters. 8:45 to go in the fourth. Brush has the 42-0 running clock lead. Back
He
in.
is off the field. I don't know if
I think he's done.
is he.
2, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 unsportsmanlike. I don't know. You'd think after 2.
I think it's 2.
Think after 2, you'd be like, okay, you're done. Get out of here.
Yep.
So Swayze is gone. Chase will have to return to running back. He gets the carry here. He bounces to the left side, cuts it up the middle of the field. He's going to have to be gang tackled right at the 50-yard line. They need the 30 of Brush for a 1st down. Picked up a good chunk of it there.
He's a good runner.
He is a good runner. He's quick. 2nd and 20. Let's see what they do here. Go 4 wide again. Chase will go to the slot this time on the left side. Garcia doesn't look that way. He goes down the right side. That's a beautiful pass. And an even better catch as Denver's going to get on the board. That is number 21, Roman Belia, who beat his man down the far right sideline. 50-yard touch and catch
Great
touch.
pass.
Yeah, pass and catch from Garcia to Balea. And Denver gets on the board. 7:15 to go in the fourth quarter, 42-6. Just because they cut the lead to less than 40 doesn't mean it doesn't remain a running clock.
They drew the attention to the opposite side of the field with Chase and
Yeah.
threw a bomb.
Do you throw passes like that?
I don't think I can throw it that far.
I was like a 30-yard pass.
That was a good throw.
They're going to go for two here. Chase is your running back. You pitch it to the right side. He tries to cut it up the middle of the
Fumble.
field. Ooh, ball squirts out. I think they may have ruled him down. Either way, the conversion's no good. Score stays 42-6. Denver able to get on the board, though, in the fourth quarter. Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Don't miss out on 1010 Prep Some More with John Beltran. He'll give you a rundown on everything from Broncos and Rockies to college sports and prep sports. A 3-decade staple for sports fans is on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com at 1 p.m. They picked the two worst teams to mention in that read. The only thing worse than watching the Broncos has got to be watching the Rockies.
Yep.
Good grief. Who
CU
you got?
Buffs is close.
Oh, man. Buffs are bad. They're really bad. Who you got in the World Series?
Oh, man, I really don't want the Astros to win.
I don't
but
want the Astros to win either. You know, I don't have a problem rooting for Philly.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Harper getting one.
Me too.
I'm okay with Harper getting one. And they were a wild card team. I like that.
Yeah, that is cool.
I like that L.A. got bounced. I like that San Diego got bounced. I'm okay with it. I'm okay rooting for Philly.
I was surprised when the Yankees were eliminated by the Astros.
Yeah, you kind of. Judge probably will be gone next year. He's
Yeah.
going to be a $500 million probably.
Not with the Rockies, though.
No. If you're not Aaron, though, why don't you just call and be like, hey, I'll come hit 80 bombs for you.
Yeah,
I don't care that we win. I'm going to get paid $400 million.
yeah.
Let's do it. Denver kicks it off here, travels to the 20-yard line.
Stayed in bounds.
It did stay, man. I kind of figured it was going to bounce out there. It doesn't. 4:54 to go in the fourth. Brushed up 42-6. So here's what John was talking about. All the seniors, even Cale Stegner on a bum knee, are going to go out onto the field. They're going to take a delay game. Stegner making his way to the huddle. Yeah. All seniors out on the field for Brush. Fans are going to start to acknowledge him here as they figure out what's happening. They do have a lot of men. Franklin Garrett's lined up at quarterback. I think Cade Castro's lined up outside. Franklin, do you see Franklin out there? He's pointing.
I bet he's
like he's
waited his
Peyton
whole high
Manning.
school career for that.
He has.
Oh, he's sending him in motion.
I can't wait to ask Coach Rosenbrock about this. Their flag does fly. Delay game is going to be the call. Just a 5-yard penalty.
It's a moment I'm not looking forward to.
21's getting more.
Yeah, 21 for Denver being an absolutely great sport. That's Balea. Brush seniors, a lot to be proud for. A lot of them part of that championship run team last year as juniors. Falling just short to Eaton. Quite a career for a lot of them. Dominic Ontiveros, Ty Griffith, just a few to mention. Cale Stegner, he was a big part of that run last year. I think he's a 4-year starter at tight end. Brush will start back on offense with 2:45 to go. Another false start, I believe, on Brush. That'll back him up a little farther. Not that it much matters, though. This game well in hand. 34-0 first quarter for Brush. They went into the half with the same score. Ty Griffith had the chance to put it to a running clock there at the end of the first half. Fumbled inside the 10-yard line. They able to score on their first possession here as Eric Rico's got to run for his life around the right side. He's just going to run out of bounds. He's like, I don't want any part of 24 chasing me down here. That dude's fast, too. Turned would look like nothing into something. Ball's going to be now at the 19-yard line of Brush. Under 2 minutes to go now in the fourth quarter. Seniors on the sideline. They're done for the year. Now it's all about trying to get some development here.
Ball's on the ground.
Yeah, pitch. Pitch, I think, hit one of the pulling linemen there. Goes on the ground, and Denver's going to take over in really good field position. Minute and a half to go now in the fourth quarter. See if they can put another one on the board as well. Stick around for your post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Going to be an extended one. Look back on this Brush season. Look ahead to next year. Of course, get an extended talk with head coach Joe Rosenbrock. His reflection on the year, what he's looking forward to as well. Are you going to be able to get standing ovation when you guys
I wouldn't think so, but I guess you never know.
I guess you never know. Maybe if it's the state title game and you're up big.
Could be. Yeah, well, it's a bit of a long shot, but I guess you never know.
Garcia's going to go under center, drop straight back to pass. That ball's going to be picked. I think it's in the end zone. It is. That's a touchback. That ball was picked. That dude high pointed it. I can't see the number. I want to say it was number 3, Percy Odell, maybe.
That's what it looks like.
That's a great interception there. 20 seconds to go. I think Brush is going to just go ahead and let that be the final play of the game. Quite the way to end the season for your Brush Beat Diggers. They'll finish 5-4. Denver West will fall to 2-7. That is the end of your game as players will line up, shake hands at the 50. Brush wins the regular season finale 42-6. Post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Make sure the nutrients you've purchased for your field are getting to your crops. Get a full plant seed, food, and water with Advanced Agri Solutions. Call Dusty Roxy 970-571-2024. Thank you to Brock Dollarshell coming in, filling in for John Beltran in the second half. Brock, good luck with the rest of your football season as well. Maybe I'll come watch you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem. Thank
Good
you.
time.
Thank you to Brock. Player of the game brought to you by Gordon Insurance. Be prepared for everything life throws at you. Get car insurance, life insurance, farm insurance, and crop insurance at Gordon Insurance. Visit GordonINS.com today. I think it's pretty easy. It's all 12 or so seniors for Brush. You can mention them all and run down the list of them here in a minute. We'll get the final stats here in a minute. Brush well over 400 yards of offense. They had the huge first quarter, biggest first quarter they've had all season, as they went up 34-0.
Well, Tyler, let's get to those seniors here. Edgar Navarro, Nate Tyne. These are not in any particular order. I guess in numerical order. Byron Flores, who had a touchdown catch tonight.
Sweet.
And, of course, Ty Griffith, who had 224 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns on the ground, also had a touchdown pass. Luke Ferguson, another senior. Caden Kastrup, Dominic Ontiveros, Franklin Garrett, Javier Cordova, and Cale Stegner. Those are your seniors out there. Joe Rosenbrock, the head coach, will be up here in the next few minutes, and Tyler will have I'm sure, a nice, pleasant season-ending conversation with him. You just see so much talent on this Brush team, and it just makes last week's loss hurt that much more, knowing that, hey, you could have been 6-3, or forget about last week's loss. If you beat Yuma or Rifle, that could have been enough. That would have propelled you enough in the RPI.
Those are big wins.
Yeah, and you lose those games, and that's what happens there. But anyway, Denver West did get on the board as Roman Blea caught that touchdown pass from 50 yards, and that was really the majority of the offense for Denver West. 12 carries, 224 yards, and 3 touchdowns, as I mentioned, for Ty Griffith. Tanner Ludgate did have 5 carries in the game, all of that in the opening half, as he was able to pick up 67 yards. And then the numbers really remained the same because the Bee Diggers barely touched the football in the second half. So as you mentioned, Tyler, over 400 yards of offense because of that little bit of offense they had in the third quarter once they got into a running clock. It's a good way to end the season. And you have a winning record for a first-year head coach in Joe Rosenbrock, but he's not used to not being in the playoffs because he was a player from 2007 to 2010. In 07, they got there and lost in the first round. In 08, they were in the quarters. In 09, in the semis. And in 2010, he was a senior when they lost to Olathe by 1 point in the state championship game. So you saw the progression that he had every year as a player. Team-wise, I think the same thing's going to happen here, although, man, you've got to replace some big offensive linemen. Ontiveros and Kastrup and Garrett, that's not going to be easy to replace those three big offensive linemen, but you know, you and I saw some very impressive freshmen, and you talked about Tanner Ludgate during the game. You know, he could have a 1,000-yard season easy next year, but a lot of that is going to be reliant on an offensive line.
And don't forget Kel Stegner, how important the tight end blocking is.
Yep.
And you got to be able to catch the ball from time to time. He's going to be tough to replace. Look for guys like Brody Dick and Snelling as well. Those are two names, along with Tanner Ludgate, that you're going to look for and probably hear a lot of next year. We'll see if Coach Rosenbrock, he's still down there.
Yeah, he'll be up here. I mean, that he will not forget to come up here. He's
absolutely not.
He even told me after the interview today, prior to the game, that he will definitely be up here. And there's one thing for sure, Tyler. Based on what he told me, he's going to have a lot to say. So he's pretty fired up to be coming up here and giving not only his post-game thoughts, his postseason thoughts, because I think he was anticipating, like many other fans were, coaches and fans, that they would be playing next week, but that's not going to happen. The Bee Diggers will finish outside the top 16 in the RPI. They will be runner-up, and it's just very unfortunate that Brush has played in really an awful league. I mean, there's no other way
Didn't
around
help
it.
him at all. Did not help him at all.
Sterling's having one of the worst seasons they've ever had. Weld Central still rebuilding.
Young.
Arvada is, they don't have much there defensively. And Tinmouth is a brand new school.
Yep.
So they didn't put Brush in any great situation. That's why the non-conference schedule had to be strong. And this was a non-conference game. And, you had some good games at the beginning of the year.
Well, in your other non-conference games, those don't do you any favor either because those are 1A schools that are in the playoffs and schools that are expected to go far in Yuma and Wiggins. So, yeah, those games don't help you. And losing them, I mean, you were in both of them, especially that Yuma game had multiple chances there to win at Yuma, but you're right, just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and Coach Rosenbrock is coming up here right now. By the way, we will be following the Wiggins Tigers. We'll have their games coming up right here on 1010 KSIR once we get to the postseason. So football's done for the Brush Bee Diggers, but certainly not for the Wiggins Tigers on 1010. And I'll have Tyler turn it over here.
Head coach Joe Rosenbrock joining us here, post-game coach. That's quite the way to finish the season if it is indeed your last game.
Absolutely. I'm glad we got the game in, just with the cancellation and all that stuff, and I'm so happy for. I think said a lot of thanks out to Denver West for making the trip out here last minute and all that stuff. So we are very happy just to have a varsity game and then to go out like that. That was a heck of a game.
The delay of game there late in the fourth quarter, all your seniors. Franklin Garrett, I don't know why you didn't play him a quarterback more. That dude looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. He's waited I don't know how long to do that. That was great. Talk a little bit about your seniors, what they've done this year and what they've meant for you as a first-year head coach here.
Yeah, well, just to talk about them, they came in with Lance being their head coach for 3 years, and at that time they were kind of rebuilding, so they didn't see a lot of success until last year, and they saw a lot of success. And it's kind of hard to build a culture when you haven't seen success, and so finally they were able to see that, and you just see how hard they worked there this summer and all of that stuff. I'm definitely gonna miss this class. They got a bunch of great kids, hardworking kids that are just fun to be around. So that last play when we got everybody on the field and lined up Frank at quarterback. I mean, he's usually the center, so he's on the opposite end of everything, and then he decides to send the guy in motion and play Madden or whatever there for a little bit. I think
Calling out the mic and everything.
yeah, gosh, I think I think that just speaks to how fun these guys had this year, and that this program, this town, everything that we got, we got a good thing going, and I'm happy to be the head coach of it. But a lot of it is just with kudos to everybody that's a part of it, the parents, the community. Gosh, my family has done a lot for me, and just all the coaches for our kids as well. They just it's I mean, hopefully there's an outside chance we make the playoffs. But if we don't, this is not a failure season. This is a lot of great things and a learning experience for me. But glad to send our seniors out on a high note.
You mentioned it being in good hands and pointed in the right direction. We got to see him a couple different times, kind of more your JV guys on the field there in a varsity game. Some of them look really good. Rico and Sanchez, Snelling, Brody Dick, those guys are going to lead you here going down the road into next year. What kind of growth have you seen from them this year?
A ton. I mean, we just the nature of it. When I was in high school and I was the C team player, we were off on our own and we didn't ever see the varsity at all. Just the nature of our numbers. We only have 55 kids, which is more than other schools.
Yeah.
So that's actually a big number for other schools. But we don't have the luxury of sending our younger kids off and they get to scrimmage themselves in practice. They have to go and they have to be the scout team for our offense. So naturally they're going to grow a lot because the competition that they're going against every day is good. But they are competitors. I'm telling you that the youth is very there's a bright future with them. They are competitive and they I would tell you till the last. It's hard when you're practicing in the cold and you're getting beat up by the varsity, and those kids don't give up, man. They'll blitz and they like to, they'll tell you right to a senior's face or whatever, hey man, I just sacked you or something like that. So they have fun with it, and that shows their improvement is because they work so hard in practice every day, and the team that they're playing is a better team than everybody that they play on game days. Our JV is undefeated on the season. Our closest game was against Fort Morgan, and that was a 14-6 game or something like that. Every other time it's been multiple touchdowns, and it's because they work so hard. So I'm happy with where Brush is going.
Aside from your seniors play down there at the end of the fourth quarter, you pick a moment going all the way back to the first game of the season. What would you say was your favorite moment or maybe a highlight of this first season with you being the head coach?
Gosh, there's a lot. You guys don't know it. It's not anything to do with football. The seniors, the very beginning of the season, I took them to play some laser tag in Greeley at Chipper Lanes. I'm not trying to advertise for Chipper Lanes, but we called Chipper Lanes. They were so gracious to open up an hour early and let us have the entire laser tag arena just by ourselves. Shoot, we played for probably 3 hours, and about 2 hours into it, you're running around because I was playing with him. I was breathing hard too. I wasn't gonna give up this opportunity. Dom was coming around a corner and it's dark in there or whatever. Kale was, I guess, right around the corner, and Dom hit his gun and threw Kale's gun right into his face and chipped his tooth.
Oh gosh!
So before the season even started, we had this whole
had an injury.
Yeah, gosh, and Dom, and this is what Dom says. Well, it's Chipper Lanes. What I'm going to chip your tooth? Like what the heck? And that just set it off. I mean, these kids work hard, but they also have fun, and I think that sometimes gets overlooked with the record and all the other stuff. Is did the kids have fun and did they learn stuff throughout the season? And I hope our kids grew as young men on doing the right things, because you're going to make mistakes in life, and I preach to them. But I want you to correct your mistakes and learn from them and become a better man and impact people in a way that's positive and not negative. And so I hope that kind of set off the year. That's a memory I will never forget. But I hope the kids leave with something bigger than just the record that they see. That's going to be forever on Max Preps or something like that.
This is 1010 KSAR, KSAR.com, Eastern Plains Sports Network, post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Coach Rosenbrock, got one final question for you. Looking ahead to next year, what are your expectations? What, if you have any here? I know you just finished your regular season 5-4. You've got some young players Do you allow yourself to think this early on, what next year's going to be like?
I think you keep thinking. As a coach, you never stop thinking. There's always a good time to relax and get away from it, but it's hard. I mean, that's the nature of a coach. I chose this career. It's because that's where I think. So yeah, I started thinking, week 4. You see what's going to happen in the future, and you can't help yourself but thinking what's going to happen in the future. So, yeah, you start thinking and all that stuff, but it is good to get away, and I don't want to take anything away from these seniors talking about the future. This day is for them, and this night is for them, and I'm glad that we came out with the win, and we were able to get multiple kids a touchdown, multiple kids interceptions. Just about every senior out there made a big play tonight, and I'm proud of that, and I'm happy to be their head coach and leave them on a good note.
One final question, I almost forgot. That double reverse pass. That been in the playbook all year, and you just won it?
You know what? Christian, our JV coach, he runs our scout team defense, and I told him one day, I said, just dream up a trick play. Dream up a trick play, because I want our kids, and the kids didn't know it, I want our kids to have to react to something crazy and see how they do that. And so that's what he drew up, and I said, you know what? That's a pretty good play. So, hey, let's throw that in there, and let's get Byron Lopez. He doesn't start for us, but he does a great job at receiver, working hard. We're going to get you a touchdown. And sure enough, he ran the perfect route. It's a little like he hides himself, and then as soon as the second reverse comes in, he takes off, and he was wide open and worked out perfectly.
That was probably the most fun play to watch all year for us.
Awesome.
That's head coach Joe Rosenbrock. Beat Diggers finished 5-4 on the regular season. Coach, good season. Outside chance to make the playoffs, outside hope. Maybe we talk to you again down the road. If not, we'll see you next year.
Awesome. Hey, it's a great day to be a Beat Digger.
That is head coach Joe Rosenbrock. Thank you for your time, Coach. Good season. This is your post-game show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Call Dusty or Roxy at 970-571-2024. John, final thoughts.
That was a fun interview. I mean, I love listening to that. I mean, Coach Rosenbrock is so enthused. You're talking about a coach, I believe he's 29 years old. He knows what it takes to get to a state championship game. He's from this community. He's got a passion about it. He had a winning season in his first year. The senior class was not too big. I mean, you don't want 20 to graduate from a class. That's what you had with Fort Morgan last year. That a huge graduating class and a lot of starters. And even though Fort Morgan's won 3 games this year, and Brush kind of went through it, too. They had a big graduating class from a year ago as well from a state runner-up team. So it takes a little while. It's not going to happen automatically. But he mentioned, the junior varsity undefeated this year with only one close game against Fort Morgan. So everything is looking up. It's a winning season. And again, those games that you're 1 or 2 plays away, like against Yuma and Rifle and even University last week, that 75-yard touchdown turned things around. But nonetheless, the Beat Diggers won 5 games, and it's a winning season, and you can't get to the state championship game you can't get to the playoffs every year, but Brush is not too far away, and they're certainly in the right direction with a young head coach who could be here for a very long time in a very Larry Mills type of feel with a few state championships under his belt, but building it slowly but surely as well.
Homegrown kid. Brush loves him.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. All right, so that puts a wrap on the 2022 regular season. We'll be covering the Wiggins Tigers in the postseason. They will be in the playoffs. They close out the regular season tomorrow at home against second-ranked Ray in Class 1A. All right, outstanding job all season by our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condas. And great working with Tyler Carmen. And thanks to Ron Albo, who stepped in, Paul Acosta, who stepped in, Brock Dollarshell, who was here for the second half tonight, a young man who's had a nice career at Prairie High School. So a lot of fun tonight and throughout the course of the regular season. I'm John Beltran on senior night. The final score from Larry Mills Field at Beat Digger Stadium. Brush 42, Denver West 6, right here on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.